Okay? You asked for it. You wanted them? I shall give you more. Burnout 6. Now, this one, I was just speaking to a lady, and she's going to be able to relate to this one. Because this is what we call compassion fatigue, which means you have just not lost the ability, but you're having a phase where you cannot emotionally engage with anyone. And I mean, especially people who are coming to lean on you, take your energy, take your advice. These people are brutal with it. They don't consider you when they come to take the energy. They just know you're the one filled with all the answers, because people in their own circle are just like them. They don't care about each other. This is why we get fatigued, because we know these people don't give a shit, and we know they're using us. They simply see us as a product that they can get something out of that serves them, and then they walk off. No, thank you. No, they do thank you, but it's that fake, pretentious thank you. Oh, thanks. But from that moment onwards, they're not going to call you. They're not going to text. They're not going to ask you how you are. They're not even going to get back to you and say, this is what happened with the advice and energy that you so kindly gave to me. No, they'll go back to their having a dig at you, because suddenly your wisdom doesn't count for shit anymore. It's only in that moment when they need it. This can be highly frustrating and deeply, deeply offensive to us. So compassion fatigue, yeah. So we know we're never going to stop having those fruits of the spirit, okay, where we exercise on a daily basis, no matter what's been done to us, the kindness and compassion and empathy and understanding that this human society so desperately needs. But you see, I always find that people are very preoccupied with the superficial shit until they need the deep stuff. But they're not with people who are deep thinkers. They're not deep rollers. That's where you and I come in. Okay? That's where you and I come in. And then they take and then they go. We know this. We are prepared for this. This is one of the other things that we had to do on our journey, which we had to learn how to accept, that people were going to treat us very boldly, very coldly, and very cruel. They just do. But we are chosen ones. We are enlightened ones. We had this journey for a reason, because we can do that which they can't. Okay, end of, standard. We just do. That's where we will give ourselves the accolades, because they don't. They're too busy taking. But they will never, ever, ever appreciate your strength, your resilience, your empathy, your ability to be so giving and so concerned about them and their world and their environment. And we also get fatigued because, I don't know about you, please do drop your experiences in the comment, but I find that when people want to be into me and say hello to me, it's because suddenly they're all smiles, because they've either got that job that they wanted, they're either loved up, they're either feeling their ego, and it's all good. Now they're all big Cheshire Cat smiles, that stupid grin, and everything's grand rising this, grand rising that. They can't shut up because everything's going their way. But I recall they weren't like that when they were struggling, when they were climbing up the ladder, and there was no special person in their life, and there was no job, there was no home, there was nothing. They were working towards it, but boy, were they a misery petulant human being at the time. What a misery guts. But now everything's hunky-dory. Watch the personality change. That's fake. That's pretentious shit. Because you and I know you're supposed to be that no matter what's going on in your life. So I will be very, very, very interested to see. Because I always constantly observe, even when I think I'm not observing. It comes from childhood. But some people are very pretentious. You're all happy when it's all going your way and your ego's being filled and your confidence levels are up because your insecurities have been cushioned and fed. You're all big Cheshire Cat smiles. But funny enough, you don't keep that when the shit starts to hit the fan. You and I, on the other hand, we do. You wouldn't even know half of what went on in my life, because I would always be smiling in the face of adversity, just like you do. We are remarkable people. And the unremarkable people, the ordinary people, will never admit that we are extraordinary. But they'll happily come to you because they know that their shallow friends and family members who they can't wait to be so loving to don't care. And that's systematic to me. And so we do get compassion fatigue, and we don't want to feel anything for anybody. Just leave us alone. Leave us alone. You don't care about us. You only care what we've got for you. So I say to you, chosen ones, we have to be extremely careful, especially if you go and see my other video. Okay, I recommend you watch that because, like I mentioned, actually, let me just get it out. As I mentioned, people like you and I will be hard pressed on all sides, but never crushed. Okay, perplexed, but never in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned because we've got each other's back. We know what we're abandoned by, hence why we're who we are. And struck down, but never destroyed. Okay? And so, as much as people might have a slight admiration for us, their jealousy will always be that little bit bigger. It's just how people are. It's just how humans are. Humans are spiteful. And that's them at best. God, well, we know what we are at our worst, don't we? Trampling on each other, people thinking that family owes them, when what you've got to understand is family is just a word, it's just a reference. Humans, people are born human before they're born any title. So remember, you and I, we are not afraid of the facts of human behavior. It's other people that are in denial. And so when they're violent and they're brutal and they're spiteful and they're cold, they can't handle it. So they hide it. And that's why we live in such a debauched, poisonous society, because people only want to do bad things and then hide it, defend it. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. And so people like you and I, we will get just exhausted emotionally, and we just need to detach, and that is most important that we do. Hence why we go hermit mode, because instead of these families interacting with each other and engaging with each other and having some sort of empathy for each other, they only care when the money's coming in and they've got their holidays and all of that's ticking over nicely. But the minute it becomes emotional, they're tearing each other apart, can't get along. But they pretend that they get along. And us loners like you and I who wished we had family are the actual ones. Okay? They can pretend all they like. We know this. We know they pretend. It's a pretentious bullshit society that we live in. And everyone's in big denial. And it's sad. And for people like you and I, these people are never going to stop using and abusing us. They're going to want to come over, oh, tell me how to do it, tell me how to do it. We will tell them and we will help them, but we will move with caution now, because these people, look at the state of society. Everyone's going to unleash the worst side of themselves. Remember this, to you and I, but to their families, they're going to play all nice. Yeah. But we are not going to allow that. Okay. So this is where we have to really be alert and wake up. These people are going to be in despair. They're not going to be thinking. It's going to be the eyes back, and they're just going to be in that mode, which is I need, I want. They're not compassionate beings. Okay? And they're going to lose it in the worst ways possible. And we have to be there to help them, but defend ourselves. Okay, because these people have a tendency to, when things are going good, they don't know us, totally disregard us. But when things go bad, they are highly destructive. They do not know how to face it. Okay, but we do. And on that note, my darlings, I hope that's helped. And as always, if you find my content insightful, enlightening, useful, please do like and follow. And for those wondrous souls that already do, look after yourself, take care of yourself. You are precious. Remember that, you're precious, and nobody's done what you've been able to do. All right, my sweethearts, so remember, love you and Jah love.